Hey y'all, I'm Dan, and this is Kinfolk, Stories of Community and Connection. This week, I'm chatting with Liz Raber, owner of Be Kind Ceramics. Liz creates beautiful pottery and ceramics that carry a message of kindness and community. In this episode, we dive into the story behind her business name, her creative journey, and how she's giving back to her community in Wheeling, West Virginia. Let's dive in. Hey Liz, welcome to Kinfolk, Stories of Community and Connection. How's it going?
Good. We're doing really great. Yes.
I'm so glad that you're here. I feel like I say anybody that I meet on the internet and, we talk, I automatically can consider us friends.
Absolutely. I feel like it's definitely a community online, especially owning an online store. Everyone who supports me online is definitely family. So it's welcome in. Yeah. Thanks for having me, by the way. This is great.
You're so welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And you are the owner of Be Kind Ceramics.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I would like to first, before we get too carried away, how did you come up with the name? And also with the theme of kindness, how does that influence your work and philosophy?
Yes. We definitely needed a name. And when I say we, I mean my family as a whole, because everyone helps me in my business. So it's not just me. My husband helps me. My mom helps me. My dad helps me, but in different ways, not so much on the ceramic side. He's going to see this and be like, oh, okay, throw me under the bus. But he helps watch my son, so I can do this. So everyone has a job. Everyone has like an ability. Everyone has like a part in this. But we were thinking of a name and we just kind of went back and forth. And finally, I did my first show ever. And we didn't have a name at that point. It was just like my name. And I didn't so much like that because there was really no meaning behind it. We were doing the show and an older guy came up to me and was just being super rude, just being nasty about one of the products and was complaining about the price. And it made me so uncomfortable. And I was just like, you know what? I think you should just be kind. Just be kind. It's really just do, and it embarrassed him so much that I was so, openly, could you just be kind? This took me a year to make this whole table.
For real?
We're a small business. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I found my name. I'm maybe, just a reminder of, it sometimes it's really hard to be kind and that's okay. It's okay to say hey, it's really just sometimes hard just to be kind and say thank you and just say, okay, no problem. Not today, so
Right.
that's where the name came from. And it just kind of stuck.
Being kind is it's almost like a superpower almost, it's so hard. The world's really cruel. People are mean and it's just so hard to be kind. And,
Sometimes.
it's contagious too, I feel like, sometimes
Yes.
sometimes people need checked like that, be kind and then they take that step back and then hopefully
rethink about it. Yeah. It was just such a small moment that just completely changed, our view of it. But it definitely has different levels. What we're doing is we're trying to spread kindness as long, and teach others about ways to be kind too.
Of course, yeah. So with ceramics, when did all of that start?
Okay, so I had a program in high school that we ran, and I grew up in Pittsburgh, PA,
Okay.
which is about an hour from Wheeling, where we're at. And it just caught on. I caught on to it so quickly for pottery wise, and we had a couple really great teachers. Then I went to school for business, and I started my first business about 8 years ago. So this is my second business, and I kind of moved away, had a child, and that really changes the perspective of moving away. So we moved home, and then we started the second business during COVID. So, it was kind of like one of those COVID things where I'm like, okay, we've got to do something else too, because I had all this time and didn't know what to do with it. So that's kind of where it was made.
So you did touch on Wheeling, and
Yes.
I do have to say that Wheeling is one place that I have not been yet, but
I know.
I will make it up there. But I want to ask,
Mm-hmm.
give me if I were in Wheeling right now, kind of
Yes.
give me a tour. What places, where would we go? What would you
Okay.
show me if I was in Wheeling?
So I would first have you out to our farm because we live on 100 acres.
Oh my Lord.
We don't actually have any farm animals, but it's one of the most magical places I would say in the world. And I'm just gonna say that it's some place that has a lot of feeling. It's a heartfelt feeling here. It's my family's farm. We are currently living here and maintaining it and doing all the things for the farm, but it is 100 acres and it's a great lookout. And then we would take you to Ogilvy because it's a staple. Ogilvy has the Festival of Lights, and I think those continue until after Christmas. I want to say through the new year, but don't quote me on that. But Center Market is also really great, and it has a ton of small businesses like linked throughout. The Wheeling Heritage has an artisan center that is absolutely phenomenal. Hands down to all the people that run that store. They actually moved it like straight down on the main street. It's wonderful. There's a few different like really cool coffee shops and little like small businesses that are throughout Wheeling that really make the difference. And then I would have to take you for dinner at Drover's Inn because that's the best wings you'll ever get in your whole life. So that's the truth right there. But yes, there's tons of businesses sprinkled throughout Wheeling. It truly is one of the friendlier places where people say hello to you and they wave.
Love that.
So I definitely had to live somewhere where you wave as you go by.
So how was the artisan community up that way?
Yeah, it's great. We have tons and tons of different potters that are here. But beyond that, we have a real community of different artists that are based out of Wheeling. And actually, there's a lot of different programs that are like encouraging new people to join and have opportunities. There's tons of grants available too.
Really?
Yeah, tons and tons of different grants that you can get like involved not only in your community, but you could start your business. It's out there. It's just you have to put the work in to do it. And it does take time. It does take time, but you can do some amazing things. A few different things that we've done this past year is working with the kids at West Liberty Elementary. So my son started school this year and I did not realize the amount of need that was in the area.
Of course.
So he got a letter in his backpack when he came home from school the first week that said, sign up for meals to be delivered for the weekend. And I was kind of shocked. I had no idea that this was like the families here in Wheeling need this much help. So we took the time and did a few different events for the kids this year that were completely free. One was based solely with the people who we work with and our suppliers for ceramics, pottery, Standard, Amico, all the big name brands. Everyone donated. Every single person donated. Every single business donated. And we donated our time and partly some glaze costs too. So the kids did bowls, and then we just finished up ceramic Christmas trees for 140 kids too. So that was a good hit. Everybody liked it, and only 2 broke. So we call that a win in our book. So
that's very inspiring. And I love events and things like that, any opportunity to be able to help and give back.
Yes.
How do you feel like it's received locally in the community, like events like that?
Yeah, it was definitely a hit. We've got tons of people reach out. I still get, messages or emails every day like, hey, can you come to our school? Can you do this? We've had so many other people just like say, we don't even have an art program at such and such school. Like, would you do this? So I think our big goal is for this year is to try to get some type of funding so we can get like a portable sink that we can just wheel into the school, because the biggest problem is the hands of the kids. Like, once they're done, they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm dirty, and it's just like, you want to go like this, but like, ooh. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. And most gyms are so far away from a bathroom in like the older schools. So yeah, it's just like little problems like that we have to work through, and continually just like having the materials like to be funded to keep it going.
Yeah, of course. Well, Lord, if I can ever help in any way, just, give me a shout and I would be more than happy to any way I can.
Thank you so much. It's funny how things work, because My mom is a retired teacher. So
Wow.
it's just so funny how like God works and puts you in certain places, because my mom's the one who like loves teaching. I don't really give the best instructions. I'm like, do whatever, because I'm like too nice to be like, no, we're not doing that.
Me
So
too.
she does all the instruction. I do all the prep work. I make like all the trees, and we lay it all out together. So it's really a team based project. So when I say we, I mean all of us, including my husband, help and get this prepared and everything like that. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. We're always busy.
So you have mentioned a tree several times. So if you do want
Yes.
to go ahead and talk about the
Yes.
giveaway.
So we do have a giveaway, and we have a Christmas tree here. I have 2 of the same exact trees, and then they come with like a little puck that lights it up that goes
Oh my
in.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're for free.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's amazing. So I have a question that I've been kind of
Yes.
dying to ask. So I've heard the term in the episode used, potter and ceramicist. So
Okay.
is there a difference between the two?
Yes, there is. There is a difference. A potter is someone who makes pottery on a wheel, or
Okay.
hand makes it from like a brick of clay. So it comes in like a chunk of 25 pounds. And so you would use that without using any like type of tools, I would say, technically. So a ceramicist can use we use molds sometimes.
Yeah.
So I started out just as a potter, but I got carpal tunnel so badly in my hands that I kind of switched more towards slip casting. And it's again funny how this works. My one friend was driving past an old ceramic shop, and they were throwing molds out of a window into a dumpster. And she's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And they're like, "What does it look like? Nobody wants these." And she's like, "I think I know someone who wants them." And long story short, we go over, and she's got millions. Like it's insane. It's insane. And we took what we thought we would use, and obviously donated to their cause. And I go over every now and again to see her, but it's always an exhausting day when we go, because they're all so big and it's all such a mess. And it's just a lot of fun to like see like what could be, in each mold, and what each thing is different. So
Exactly.
a lot of these are vintage though. On the mold side, we band it and then slip cast it. So it's like a liquid clay that goes in it, and then most of the time you have to pour it out and then wait, and then you can take it out, and it's like whatever the mold is. So that's more on the ceramic side. And then the pottery side is wheel throwing, which we still do. I'm not saying that we don't. We do a lot of our mugs on there and bowls. But again, it's just a different process. Everyone has different opinions about slip casting. It's always funny. If you ask a potter, they'll be like, "Well, that's not pottery." I'm like, "Well, it is, but okay, we're all getting to the same place. So it doesn't, it all goes around, is my opinion. But if you ask a potter, they get very serious about it. So
It's like, why does it matter? You're happy.
It
I'm happy.
doesn't.
We're doing what we love. Then
there's enough. Yeah, there is definitely enough to go around. It's kind of funny when like someone says, "Well, why are you supporting them? They do pottery too." It's like, there's so different. Like what they do is so different than like what I do. So it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, is if you're supporting a small business,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
And we need more collaboration, okay? Like,
Yeah.
I could get on a soapbox, and I'm not going to, but it's okay for, if you and someone else do the same thing, it's okay for you to collaborate and not have to hate each other, or,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's, I learned it's sometimes nicer, you end up in a better place if you just do the right thing, be the better person at the end of the day. So
Do you have any new upcoming like designs or anything that you're excited about?
a few, yes. So we do have
If you don't want to share, you don't have to.
Yeah,
But if
no,
you're,
it's so funny though that you said that. Yes, so we do have a few different items coming up. We really, at the end of December through January, we really just try to like push to get to the end of Christmas, because it's so exhausting being a potter in Christmas, because everybody wants gifts and they wait. And honestly, we sell out every single year. So it doesn't matter how many we make during the year. Does it matter? I think we've sold over like 300 mugs. It's cool.
My Lord.
Yeah, it's a lot. We are so beyond blessed to like have that opportunity. But this coming year, I definitely want to make more travel mugs. I think that's been like an obsession lately for me. Having a nice travel mug that fits in your car. Yeah. That's definitely on the list. And then we have a few different odd items too. Bathtubs. Yes. Who knew? They're like mini bathtubs that you can put soap in, like for your vanity. They're vintage bathtubs. I think people are going to go crazy over those. And then we have a series coming, which I really wanted to get to the end of, like, I really wanted to do in December that I didn't get to do. So we're carrying it over for January, which is going to be a nativity set. So it's going to be a 1970s like vintage nativity set. So we're going to probably offer it in two separate like options where you can paint it yourself and we just ship you all the stuff where you can sit and do it up, or maybe just doing like a white like mother of pearl set where it's all done. And you can just put it out. It's all white. You can put it out with anything. So that's definitely on the list of things to do. So many people have asked me. They're like, please, please do it. And I'm just like, I'm definitely a people pleaser. I try not to say no because I don't like to hear no.
Me too.
It's really bad. So, but we were like, okay, we will get to you. Yeah. So that's going to be November. And then we also have in the works for another paint and sip possibly going on. Yes. So we're trying to figure out what product we want to run for that. I did pick up a mold on our last hunt that is a tissue box cover. Who knew? I know.
That's amazing.
Yes. And so it has like all sorts of design, like flowers, very spring-like. And then recently I have been making sinks, which are insane. Yeah, just another crazy idea that I have that I'm like, I really wanted a handmade sink. And so my husband just ordered me one off of Amazon and I'm going to have to decline. I'm like, I want to make my own. So he's up there probably rolling his eyes, but yeah, he's going to install it. He just doesn't know yet.
So I have two things, I guess, really left. One is the rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
And which that'll be at the end. But before that, if you would, I'd just love for people to hear, where can people connect with you at? Socials or shop, anything like that?
Yeah. Okay, so we have a few different locations where you can shop in store. One is the main place would be Ogilvy at the Carriage House. So it's a yellow building. At Ogilvy, kind of by the big tree right now. They have a huge, you can't miss it. Can't miss it, I promise you. You can see it from here probably. But yeah, it's a huge tree and it's right next door to the candy store. So, they're great up there. They have a full line of products that they have bought from us. And they were our first major wholesale. So I'm beyond blessed to be up there, to have my products shown up there, to have like a little write-up. It's absolutely a dream come true to be up there. And then we have products at Clientele, and I think at the Wheeling Heritage, they are sold out. So that is our in-store vendors where we are. And then our main store would be BeKindCeramics.com, and we ship all of our ceramics for free to you. Yep, completely free. It's all online. And then you can also just email us, bekindceramics@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram and all the socials.
I'll be sure to link all of that down in the show notes.
Perfect. Sounds great.
So before we move into the rapid fire questions, is there anything that we have not talked about that you would like to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we've got it. Yeah.
So I think I have 3 questions for you. And kind of like the premise of it is, I ask the question and you kind of just say what immediately first comes to mind.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be a one answer and done, but if you do want to elaborate, it's totally fine. You can.
Okay.
Okay, so question 1 is, what is the first thing you ever made?
A bowl.
Was it like maybe was it by yourself or was it like a school, like an art project or something like that?
It was definitely an art project in school. Yes. It was a pinch pot bowl probably.
Oh, I love it.
Like a little, yeah.
All right. Question 2, what is your favorite season to craft in?
So our like November, October, fall here in Wheeling it's so beautiful in Wheeling and West Virginia in total. I mean, the Appalachia is like it's so beautiful here. Yeah.
Well, that's funny because the next question is, so I was going to leave it in Wheeling, but I'm going to open it up to the whole state. So where is your favorite spot, either in Wheeling or you can open it up to the whole state?
Oh my gosh, it would have to be my backyard, literally. And maybe I should attach a picture because it's so beautiful. It just is like the hill, it's between the hills and the sky. It's just being outside in nature. I feel like that's part of what being in West Virginia and living here really is being out in this beautiful landscape that, I think most people aren't really aware of like how beautiful West Virginia is.
I say that all the time.
Yeah, I know. Go like you got to get outside though.
Exactly.
I mean, that's if you love being outside, it's absolutely worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a place for people, hiking or riding or four-wheeling. There's so much to do. Yeah, outdoors hunting. I mean, it's just a outdoorsy state for sure.
I know. I'm so happy and blessed that I was, born and raised here.
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, so I mean, I have a little black and gold still going. Here in Wheeling, we definitely support the Steelers or the Stillers, as you would like to say. But West Virginia is very torn. But we do not so we're Steeler fans, but we're not Pitt fans. So it's different. Yeah. So we're West Virginia. You're West Virginia fan. But you're not a Pitt fan. So it's like the line is drawn. It's very drawn. So funny. Here. Yeah. Even football here in general is like super popular in for high school too. So yeah, it's a very outdoorsy place. But thank you so much. This was so great. I really appreciate you having me.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Kinfolk, Stories of Community and Connection. Liz's story and her work with Be Kind Ceramics are such a beautiful reminder of how kindness can shape our communities. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to follow and rate the show on your favorite podcast platform. You can also connect with me and join the community on Instagram and Facebook. Do you have a small Appalachian business or know someone who would like to share their story? Send me an email at kinfolkpodcastconnect@gmail.com. Show notes including how to connect with Liz and Be Kind Ceramics can be found in the episode description and on Instagram. Until next time, keep exploring, stay kind, and don't be a stranger.